Hi there, I care and you matter. I'm Shannon and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about something that I've been promising in several videos, and that is journey journaling. It's actually something that I invented to help myself, and it served many different purposes. Now, first of all, quick disclaimer, I'm sure that other people do this. They might have different names for this. I don't profess or proclaim or say in any way, shape, or form that I'm the one that invented this entirely. I'm just saying that this is what I call a very specific process of journaling that helps me in a number of ways, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Now, first of all, I actually for years have been just using a regular old 70 sheet notebook. I like this because it's cheap. I get these every year at the beginning of school or back to school time at Target. They're cheap. I like the size, and if you've watched any of my videos here, you'll know I have a very strong preference for wide ruled. So this is always a wide ruled notebook, and you'll notice that all the pages in here have been folded almost in half, and I'm going to explain why in a moment here. Also, another disclaimer, this is a relatively new journey journal that I just started, so it's not completely filled out, but I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Just recently, and I really enjoy this process, and I really enjoy using these notebooks. However, just recently, one of my favorite bookstores, it's called Half Price Bookstore. We have two near my home. I saw this. And this is gorgeous. I love how it looks. I love how it feels. Oh, it's probably about 5 inches by 6 inches. It's just gorgeous. A lot of my favorite colors. I like how intricate it is. I love the little claps here. Oh, it feels very antique. It's not even narrow. I wouldn't say it's wide, but it's certainly not college ruled inside. Oh, I have it. You can tell I haven't even used it yet. Anyway, I don't usually invest or indulge in journals or blank books that are this precious. And I do mean precious. It makes me happy to look at this. But why did I do it? Well, I decided, I'm going to get a couple cute little blank books to use as bookshelf candy. Bookshelf jewelry, should I say. So it's in the background when I'm doing Zoom meetings for work. They just look pretty on my shelf. Because let's face it, most of the books I read get beat up. I like to underline and highlight, and I dog ear my pages, which drives my husband nuts. But hey, just proof that I've enjoyed and used it, right? But anyway, so I got a couple of these just because I thought they were pretty, particularly the spine even, just on the bookshelf side by side. However, I have had this on my bookshelf for a year, and it dawned on me, why am I being so precious with a book or a journal? There is nothing more precious than our own thoughts and our own feelings. And this book couldn't be any more precious if I actually used it to make myself feel better. So we'll see if I do it. I'm thinking about starting my journey journaling in these blank books because, like I said, I think I'm looking up at my bookshelf now. I think I have about 5 of them. Let me grab another one to show you what I mean. Here's another one that I got. Similar style. It's got this, I can't resist this little clip. I just love that. Anyway, I've got about 5 of these. And they weren't too terribly expensive. I think I spent $6 for each. Again, I go to Half Price Bookstore and get them for cheaper. I know Barnes & Nobles and other bookstores sell these for upwards of $14, $15, sometimes even all the way up to $20. That's not in my price range. But $6? Yeah, you bet. So in the new year, I'm going to try, or at least give it a try, journey journaling in one of these blank books because I think it might be worth it to me to keep my journaling in something a little more sturdy than a notebook. The benefit of a notebook is it's easily accessible, it's cheap. I don't worry about ruining it. But there is a little prep work that I do. And so to get started, you're going to need a notebook. Suppose you could even use loose leaf notebook paper. I don't like that because it's too easy to lose the different pieces of paper. I like to keep this private. so that I can be completely transparent and authentic as I write. And I like the idea of actually closing something, whereas loose leaf paper would be could defeat that purpose. So to get started, I'm going to turn to a blank sheet here. I do whole notebooks at a time while I'm watching a favorite show. I literally just take the sheet of paper one by one or two at a time sometimes, and I fold the outer side in so that the edge matches up with the pink line over here along the left hand side. And then I don't use my hands because I have psoriatic arthritis and that really hurts. So I either I have a bone folder that I bought years ago, which frankly I don't like quite as much. I use a teaspoon that I got at a local thrift store. I take the teaspoon and I put my thumb in this actual spoon part, the part where the food would go, and then I push it along the paper, and it creates, as you can see, a very clean, crisp fold. And then what do? I unfold all the pages. What that does is it just creates a line for me. It divides the space, so I know exactly where I'm going to write what. So again, let's go back to the beginning. What is journey journaling? Life is a journey. We all have what are essentially little snippets of our life or little short stories that happen. And I found through going through a lot of hardship that one of the best ways I can manage that and manage my feelings without getting bitter is by not just looking for silver lining, but for mining for meaning. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Suffering and going through hardship and going through pain and dealing with challenges is a lot easier if we know it's for a reason, for a purpose, or if something good will eventually come out of it. And I don't like leaving that up to chance. I like to mine for the meaning. So think of it this way. Diamonds aren't just left all over the place. They are, people got to dig for them in dirt and through rock, and they have to work for it. They have to look for it. And they are valuable because they're rare. Well, meaning and purpose, those hopefully aren't rare, but it can take a bit of work to figure all of that out. And oftentimes, it's not immediately evident, but that doesn't mean that a bigger, a positive purpose or plan or end result isn't waiting. And so I keep track and I keep a written record of the hardships, the challenges, the frustrations in my journey journal. And then in the future, something might happen, be it small or big, or even something that I personally have been able to piece together that brings meaning to that challenge that I experienced. And so what do? I flip through my journey journal, find my frustration or challenge or experience, and then I document what came out of it, what positive end result. And it can be as little as me figuring out something about myself. It might be me learning how to gain more patience. It might be me figuring out how to hack my way around a challenge I felt cornered by. It could be anything. What is important about this is you write down your journey, and then you write down what you found meaningful out of that. And that's why I call it my journey journal. I don't like to just sit down and write, free write, I guess you'd call it. I don't journal that way. Some people do. I like to have some direction. I love the phrase that says, focus is greater than freedom. Focus is more powerful, is more impactful than freedom. Why? Because it gives us structure. Constraints don't have to work against us. It can give us direction. It can give us architecture and structure that we need in order to actually get going. Staring at a blank page can be overwhelming. And my life is already overwhelming, and I'm guessing that yours is too. So journey journaling is very easy. You don't have to do it every day. I try to. because I'm trying to accumulate a bunch of stories from my life that I can use in future books that I'm writing. But it's one of those things when something happens, whether you're frustrated, whether it's funny, whether it's ironic, whether you're struggling with something, it's just a way to get that out. And it can be long form or short form. So let me jump in and show you a couple of pages. For me, I don't know why I do this, but I do. You know what? Maybe I do know why. Maybe it creates a sense of privacy. I never write on the first page of a notebook. Doesn't matter what the notebook is. I just don't do it. Again, don't really know why, but that's just personal preference. You do you. So I just skip that page, and you're gonna look here. Ignore this side for the first part of this video. In fact, let me cover that up. Okay, so you'll remember that the pages are divided into two. And if you wanted to, you could even do this where the page if you write more longhand, if you want to write a ton, you could do it where you don't fold the pages at all. Your journey or your little short story or snapshot of whatever happened could be on the left-hand side. And then what you think about or your self-reflection on what you went through could be on the right. But I don't do that. I like to make these notebooks last. So I, again, divide it by folding it. So you'll notice here, I don't write long form. I really don't. I just write little snippets, like a couple sentences that jog my memory. Because this isn't meant to be a chore. This is meant to be fun. This is meant to be helpful. And so this is just how I roll. This is how I write. And I just do this little squiggle in between each story or snapshot of what happened. So let's just jump into this. So Nate at Disneyland, he was 10 years old. We were, we saw the canoes over on the River of America. And Nate said it looked like fun. But when he was on it, he realized it was work. In other words, he thought, oh, wow. I don't know if he thought it was mechanical and the boats went on their own. I mean, we could see the people using oars moving the canoes, but Nate really wanted to go on it. I knew better. I was there for fun. I was not doing work. It was hotter than Hades. I think it was near, 9,500 degrees. It's crazy. Southern California. So Mark and I stayed back, but Jason, what a trooper, my husband, he took Nate on the canoes. And apparently it took less than 2 minutes for Nate to figure out, wait, there's a reason they probably don't call, there's probably a reason they don't call it a ride. They call it an attraction because it equated to work. And apparently Nate just sat there with the oar and he felt a little bait and switch there. But I thought that was really funny. And I haven't had the opportunity to. But the more I thought about this, I thought that this was a wonderful and funny analogy or metaphor for the fact that things aren't often what they seem or what they appear to be. So in other words, never take things at first glance, dig into them a little more, do a little research before you commit and jump into something. And so that little tidbit, that little self-reflection would be what I would write here over on the right-hand side of the page. And I usually try to use a red pen. So I write in blue for my little snippets or snapshots of experiences here on the left, and then I write in red over here my reflection. So in other words, journey journaling is a great way to self-reflect. I find that this provides just enough structure for me that it's sustainable. I've been doing this for years now. And like I said, personally, it really benefits me because I can let go of a frustration or a challenge when I write it down. There's something about putting it on paper and getting it out of my head that helps just emotionally, mentally. But then later, I can think on that as I'm scrubbing toilets or cleaning house or running errands. And then when I come up with meaning that I can attach to it, or a positive end result that I can point to and say, hey, look, yeah, that happened, but this positive thing later happened too because of it. I write that down. And so it's a way to journey to journal that entire process. And then when I'm feeling frustrated or facing something and it's just really difficult and I'm struggling, even though I may not be able to point to the meaning or the purpose or the positive aspect of it in that moment, I can read through my journey journal and look at past experiences and then what I gained or learned from it. This is just an incredible tool. And you know what? Honestly, I think even young teenagers, adolescents would benefit from this. This is just a wonderful way to work through thoughts, feelings, challenges, and even stress. So like I said, in the new year, in 2024, I am going to treat my journey, my thoughts, my self-reflection as precious, because they are, and so are yours. So I'm going to try it in this smaller little book, and I am going to, I'm not going to fold the pages because this is already a much smaller book, but like I said or shared previously on the notebook, I'm going to start writing my snapshot experiences or challenges or frustrations here, real life anecdotes here on the left, and then writing my reflections on it on the right. So essentially I'll get on a spread, I'll have an entire story or experience and then my reflection on it, and then hopefully fill this book up and then have a beautiful journey journal that I can not only have on my shelf for decoration but will actually be useful as well. So that is what my journey journaling process is, and I invite you, if you're looking for an easy way to do this yourself, I invite you, especially with the new year coming up, grab a notebook, grab your favorite pen, and you don't have to do it the way I do it. You can, you do you. Find a process that works for you. The only two non-negotiables I would say with this process are, it's twofold. Find times and opportunities to write down experiences in your day-to-day life that are poignant or important to you or impactful. It can be positive or negative. It can be challenging or frustrating. It could be ongoing stress that you're struggling with, or even just something funny that you don't want to forget. Jot those stories down, and then give yourself some space and time to think about it, and then come back to your journey journal and then write down your own reflection on those different things so that you have a record of both. It will become hopefully a treasured tool to help you work towards better mental health, but also something that can benefit and just really give you encouragement as you experience, hopefully not too many, but hey, you know what? Life throws crap at us all from time to time. So journey journaling is one way I deal with that and prepare myself to wage battle and find meaning in the midst of it. I'm going to leave you with one quick quote that I came up with on my own. And in the midst of, depression, despair and depression and just overwhelming frustration, I thought to myself, what is manure? Manure is nothing but crap, and stuff grows where crap goes. And I could either decide to be buried by it, or I could do the same. So stuff grows where crap goes, and so can we.